was between the British and the colonists versus the French and Indians.
They both wanted the land of the Ohio River Valley to settle and expand their land, so they fought over it.
We get the land. We want the fur trap here. No, we want this land to expand our colonies.
Great Britain helped the colonists in the war, and they won.
Soon news got out to the Indians that the colonists were taking over their land. This was when Pontiac's rebellion began. The Indians got mad because that was originally their land. The Indians started attacking the colonists' forts. The king did not want other conflict to deal with.
We're going to attack British forts to get our land back. We agree.
This led to the proclamation of 1763. The king made his law stating that the colonists couldn't expand on the Indians' land. The king thought this would make peace, but only made the colonists mad.
We may not settle west of the Appalachian Mountains. Oh, man.
On top of them telling that they cannot move to new land, the King of British taxed the colonists because they needed help paying for the war. The colonists were getting more and more upset.
Tax every colonist so we can have this land to help pay for the war.
This is when all the problems began.
Although Great Britain and the colonists won the war, there was a great cost.
The king started to tax many everyday items to help pay for the war.
In 1764, King George III declared a tax on sugar and molasses and other sweet things. This was the Sugar Act.
We must tax sugar to pay for the war that we fought. But it's not fair. We didn't have to say what we wanted to do. Yeah. I don't care.
This made all the colonists mad, so they started to boycott good.
In fact, a group of patriotic men named the Sons of Liberty started boycotting sugar to show how much they disapproved of the tax.
The British eventually took away the sugar. King George III still needed money, even after the Sugar Act, so he started the Currency Act. This outlawed colonists from printing paper money.
Why should we be paying the king money when he doesn't let us settle on all the land that we fought for? Good taxation without representation. I don't care about all your opinions. I just want money to pay for debt.
The Sons of Liberty began to attack the people that collect the taxes like the stamp agents. So they eventually took away the Stamp Act.
Soon after, in 1766, Britain made the Declaratory Act, which declared they had full lawmaking control over the colonies. The colonists were getting more and more upset.
Tax them. We didn't have anything. There's no taxation without representation.
When the Stamp Act was repealed or taken away, the British started the Counting Act. The Counting Act is when they tax anything. They tax wood, paint, paper, and lead.
I don't want to buy this because I don't want to have to pay for the tax. It's not fair. You have to.
A group of workers in Boston argued with the British soldiers and they started to fight with each other. They started throwing snowballs at each other and they were yelling insults at each other.
The colonists were upset at the British stamp agents because they did not want to pay taxes they did not have a say in.
Stop taxing us. Hey, I'm just doing my job. Yeah, he's just doing his job.
The colonists started throwing rocks that were covered in snow.
The British soldiers shot colonists open-armed and killed 3, and 2 severely hurt colonists that later soon died.
I wouldn't do that.
That day was called the Boston Massacre because it happened in Boston, and massacre means killing of many people. The king eventually put a tax on tea.
The colonists were really angry because they didn't have a say on the tax. Colonists wanted to pay back for all the tax on the tea. They wanted to get back at the king.
It was December 16, 1773. Samuel Adams and a group of men dressed as American Indians. They raided 3 ships filled with tea at the Boston Harbor. They dumped 342 crates of tea into the Boston Ocean. They did this because they were angry that they taxed their favorite drink, tea.
No tea tax. No tea tax. No tea tax.
This made the king mad since the colonists threw the tea off the boat and did not pay the tea or the tea.
You shall pay for the tax.
After the Boston Tea Party, the king punished the colonists and limited what they were able to do. This was called the Intolerable Rights. The king says no ships in or out of the harbor until the tea was paid for.
We must punish the colonists because they wasted good quality tea. We must be free. We don't want to pay extra tax for tea, especially if we don't have standard taxes.
The colonists decided they had enough, so they had a meeting.
The First Continental Congress was when 12 out of the 13 colonies came together as a unified group. Most wanted peace agreement with Britain, but warned the king that all 13 colonies would stick together from now on. They began training a militia, but still hoped for peace.
The British army came to the colonies to collect weapons.
Paul Revere warned the British were on their way.
The British are coming! The British are coming! The British are coming!
The British approached Lexington and Concord.
The British soldiers were met by colonists.
No one knew who shot first, but the shot heard around the world was the beginning of the American Revolution.
War!
The Second Continental Congress eventually met again in Philadelphia to establish an army and decide to declare independence.
We shall have an army led by George Washington. I will start writing the Declaration of Independence to say we have freedom.